What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of CNC. This is episode number 69. We start today just looking at our fixtures for September. As you can see, our first Euro qualifiers are Wales, Canada away, Austria at home, and then Spain away, who of course knocked us out in the World Cup quarterfinals. Leeds, Fulham and Arsenal are our Premier League games, and we've also got an EFL Cup tie against Stoke City as well. So as we head into the first ever Euro qualifier of Wales, you see the team we picked here for the Euro qualifiers. It's the same squad we had in the World Cup, and you might be thinking, well, is this going to be detrimental to Newport County, you know, playing players, making them tired for your domestic games and European games now with Newport County, for when you come back to matter with the club? Well, possibly yes, we run the risk of injuries and fatigue as well, but as I mentioned before, this is club and country, and whilst I might be strategic with my international friendly squad selections, playing and picking players that aren't Newport County players, the emphasis of the country is just as important as the club. It's a 50-50 series, so to me, success with Wales is just as important as with Newport County as well. Got to care about the club and the country, you know. So yeah, heading into our first ever Euro qualifier, super excited for it. Austria at the Cardiff City Stadium, where I blew a golden chance 15 minutes in for our first goal of the group campaign, and Matondo sent through after an incredible ball by Gavin Humphreys, but denied as it was still 0-0. You're going to know it changed the game as well. Obviously Ben Davies was our captain in the World Cup, but that's because Gavin wasn't initially selected for the squad. He came in later after the Ramsey retirement, but for this season and for the indefinite future, Humphreys will be captain for both club and country. Gave him the armband pre-game here against Austria, and I've got to say, this is a really tough game as well. You know, I mentioned when the group was drawn, I do think we've got what it takes to get out of the group, but all of the nations in there have got really good young talent. You'd say Spain are the front runners, who finished third in the World Cup, and of course knocked us out in the quarterfinals, getting to the semis, but Austria, Czech Republic, Ireland, there's some really good young talent amongst all of these nations. Austria put like a heck of a fight in this game, but with 15 minutes to go, it's just a dream, baby. Gavin Humphreys, captain of the country for the first time ever at 19 years old, scores what would prove to be the game winner. Oh man, it was just fitting. A fairy tale end to our first game as a Euro qualifier with Wales. Absolutely buzzing to see it, and Humphreys does finally break the deadlock. It was a really, really nervy and tense game there in Cardiff. Super fun though, and I've got to say, you know, it's very hard to like get invested managing a country in FIFA CM, but I talk about it a lot. If you are doing a club and country, that's what makes it a lot more exciting, knowing so many of your players are in the squad as well. Like, would I care as much if we had no Newport County players? Nah, just going to be totally honest, man. I wouldn't really be that fussed about it. It's knowing that, you know, Humphreys came through the youth team, now he's captaining his country. It's those sort of things that make the career mode a lot more fun, you know, they really, really do. So if you want to manage internationally in FIFA CM and make it more enjoyable, look for players that are your own, and especially players that come out of the academy, and give them those caps, because it makes it a lot more fun and a lot more immersive, you know. Still, following game was Spain away, and of course after knocking us out in the World Cup quarterfinals, we were looking for revenge in this game, but I would have taken the draw. This to me was the toughest fixture of the lot. I would have been totally fine with the point, but in the first half where I played quite well, we were unlucky not to be leading, and in the second half with very few chances, we played a perfect counter-attack, and it was wrapped up by one of the slowest players on the pitch, Ben Davies. Ben Davies' second goal of the season for club and country. One for Newport County. Look at the fans. I remember when this happened, I literally couldn't stop laughing, man. The camera cut to the fans. We don't travel very well, do we? There's about seven Wales fans. Look at them holding the scarves. There's like 7 fans in the away end at the Metropolitano as we win in Spain, get our revenge. Ben Davies scoring the only goal of the game, and it's a 100% start to our Euro qualifier group. And I've got to say as well, what a counter-attack that was as well, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. I played that absolutely perfectly. as we got ourselves a big famous victory away in Spain, and to start off by winning the toughest game in the group in my opinion, and have 2 wins on the board already. Yeah, I said when the group was drawn, man, I said a moment ago there, it's a tough group, don't get me wrong, but I do fancy our chance of making it through, and we've just given ourselves a great opportunity, already getting back-to-back wins start the campaign off, including Spain away as well. But the fans... It just cracked me up, man. There was like 7 Wales fans in attendance there. Seriously? I mean, come on, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. We were underdogs heading into the game. And I know it's a Euro qualifier and the second of the group. It's not that meaningful, I'm sure. But think about it, man. These are the guys knocked out in the World Cup quarterfinals. We're looking for revenge here. It's our first away day in a Euro qualifying group. 7 fans? That's all that can make the trip, really? But even so, great win there, and so buzzing again. You know, first Euro qualifiers of Wales, first national games with the team outside of a national tournament. So fun, and it's again what makes these club and countries so brilliant, you know. Still, following that, heading back to matters with Newport County, heading back after the international break, and I was talking about possible fatigue of our players going away on international duty, then coming back home on the plane. Well, it didn't seem to be an issue in our third game and our first one today with the club. Rabbi Matondo, 28 minutes in, gets his 4th of the season already to make it 1-0 and give us the early advantage Ronnie played here against a brilliant Leeds team, by the way. Did you see the Leeds team and the Leeds lineup heading into this game here? Romelu Lukaku, Giovanni Reina, Solomon, who does really well in FIFA Career Mode. This is a really good Leeds team, but we were tuning up in the first half. Matondo had bagged the brace. It's 5-4 for Rabbi Matondo already, as we lead by 2-0. And despite Leeds' star-studded lineup, we looked a far better team, and 69 minutes in, wrapped the points up. Lloyd, the man who's so good, they named him twice, gets our 3rd of the game with 21 minutes to go. Points secure, and it's going to be 4 games without a loss and 3 straight victories for Newport County to start the campaign off. With 15 minutes to go, though, after some bizarre positional sense, I don't know what was going on here as this highlight began. Romelu Lukaku gets around Ethan and Padu, rolls it across, and eventually Manuel Solomon, was it Florian Neuhaus or Manuel Solomon that got the goal? I think it was Solomon. It was indeed Solomon with the goal. But again, Solomon, Neuhaus, Lukaku, what a team this Leeds side is. But they will get back in the game, make it 3-1, and with the star-studded power they've got up top, I guess I wasn't surprised whilst we were leading by 3, the game wasn't done, because Florian Neuhaus would get a goal, 8 minutes to go and make it 3-2, and from 3-0 up, I was getting a little bit nervous in the closing stages, but despite conceding 2 late ones, we'd hold on for the 3 points. Defensively, not the best there, not a great debut for Ethan and Padu, I must be honest, but it does prove the point that we need Joe Rodden and Brandon Cooper back ASAP, man. I mean, both of these guys went down with cruciate ligament damage last season. To miss 2 of our starting back 5 and 2 of our starting 3 centre-halves is a big blow. Lloyd Payne is amazing. He's now 86 overall, don't get me wrong, but he's got to shepherd 2 other centre-halves in this back 5. He needs Rodden and Cooper. They're far better than the other options we've got. And yes, and Padu's a decent option, but don't forget we're training to play holding mid in this team and not centre-half. So the sooner Rodden and Cooper come back, the better for Newport County. Still, our final game of today's episode, and I couldn't wait for this. First ever European game at Rodney Parade. And it didn't get off to the start I was hoping for. KRC Genk, the Belgians, come into South Wales, and you would have seen by my lineup, it was a strong one. A couple of players getting rare starts, but for the most part, this was a really strong Newport County team. Because I talked about it, I'm taking this competition very seriously. It's a chance to qualify for the Champions League. And you know how hard it is to break up the top 4. This is a golden chance here to qualify for the Champions League. And also a chance at silverware as well. I'm taking it very seriously this season. But we fell behind early to the Belgians. And I was thinking, I am not having my first ever European game with Newport County at Rodney Parade ending a shock defeat. Needed to get back on level terms, and we would. Unsurprisingly, the man who gets the goal, Rabbi Matondo, first ever goal in a European competition, makes it 1-1, and then 47 minutes in. I mean, if I need to get back in the game, if I need someone to turn up, It's either one of the two or both of them. Matondo scores our first, Gavin gets our second, blasted in near post, and the comeback completed. We lead by a goal here in South Wales. These two, man, two of the best players in the world, and the dynamic duo. And a few minutes after that as well, after taking the lead for the first time in the game, Dan James runs forward, uses that electrifying pace and finds the back of net to make it 3-1, gives us a 2-goal cushion. And I was thinking, okay, let's see the game out here. Let's make sure it's done. No late scares like against Leeds, please. Easy 3 points on the opening day, but unfortunately, just like on the weekend, we would concede late on, and the scoreline reduced to 1 once again. 3-2, but just like the game against Leeds, we would once again hold on for the 3 points. So another game, we have a late scare towards the end of the match. We would hold on for the victory there. It's a win in our first ever European game with Newport County. One thing's for sure, it's been a great start. We've won every game apart from the opening day against Wolves, but our defence definitely needs to improve. No such problems with the country, back-to-back clean sheets in the Euro qualifying group, but in the league and in the Europa League as well. Defensively, a little bit concerning to start the season off. That we'll need to pick up if we are to be a top 4 team. But that will end today's episode of Club and Country, guys. Massive thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, if you had, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.